for the benefit of tangent, can someone fill us all in on what happened the last 2 sessions?
Oh, last 2 sessions. Okay, so May 11th, we went to the airship dock and tried to find out if there were any airships headed to R'Lane. Originally, the girl kind of like low-key refused to help me and had some vibes that made me want to do terrible things to her. But we did find out after the first round of bribery that Fortuna Dayanel, I don't have that written phonetically, I'm sorry if that's wrong again.
So I've put it on the sheet.
Okay. Well, first name Fortuna, who is the Guildmaster of Surgeons, has hired an airship to Rootmere to deal with some problems there. Also Dionysus, who is the head priest of the Church of Baldray, kind of like the god of health and community, and is like kind of the person who will crown the next emperor, is like also supposed to be on that particular flight. Do you call it a flight if it's an airship? Ship?
Yeah.
Voyage?
Travel, journey, flight.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's a bit of a new thing.
On round 2 of bribery, we found that there are secret ships from the Corps of Night that go to R'Lane. And that was kind of some information we found out there. We found out Umbra is after the Watcher, who Hayden works for, and has been instructed not to remove the Watcher's mask. So that's a fun little mystery of what's up with that.
Specifically, he's been asked to behead the Watcher, but bring the mask with.
Okay.
Umbra kills people sometimes, I guess. I don't know. It's a bounty. There's a bounty on like the literal head of this like crime boss person. Because the Watcher is that like kind of crime boss that Hayden is like working for. So that's related to like the Corps of Night and everything that's going on there. We decided to go to the Guild of Surgeons. Davina kind of socially engineered her way into an appointment with Fortuna by fast-talking some receptionist and minor illusioning her name on some appointment books. There was a bellboy named, I think, Petit, who really shouldn't be operating an elevator, but was. Like, just really can't do the crank. I have notes here about there's a smart author that exists in this universe, just about the thing. We also learned that there's like a blight, like a magical blight going on in Rootmere, and that's why Fortuna is like going there to help deal with that. It's like the land there, I guess, is like magically fertilized, and somehow like there's like a blight going on there that's like feeding on that magic, and it does have like human carriers of people who have magic. And it's kind of a big deal, but they're trying to keep it hush-hush. So that's deeply concerning. But did get Fortuna to agree to drop us in R'Lane, on the way to Rootmere in exchange for letting her throw some sort of fundraiser at Davina's house at some point. And then we went back to the Hepburn Manor to sleep. Then last week we were kind of just... it was mostly just a roleplay episode. Like, we played chess, we had dinner, went to bed, and then the morning was spent like boarding the airship.
Yeah, it was very much like just more of like a party bonding, talking IRL.
Yeah, just like shooting the shit.
But I ended it there because I thought that like probably Zell might want to do something as all of you guys board the airship. It's the one that you arrived into Orisier with on the Prince Kurtz. It was quite small. This one is much grander, much larger. It has like individual bedrooms for like 20 guests at least. There's like a whole ass dining room on one of the decks. Like the engineering alone takes up a whole deck. which I believe is where Brook went. And it slowly starts to chug away from Arissier. But as it begins to gain altitude, it begins to speed up quite significantly. And on the journey towards Relaine, does anyone wish to do anything?
I want to subtly help Fortuna and Dionysus end up in the same room a lot.
Okay, so upon...
I don't know how specific you want me to be about that.
I feel like we could probably spend an entire session just role-playing that. So I'll shorten it to, like, they both end up having, like, a lot of their own work to do. The journey to Relaine is expected to take about a day and a half. So, like, one evening. So, like, there'll be some meals shared all together in which you can, like, begin to blag that, like, you need both of their help, or you want to talk to the pair of them about fundraising or whatever.
I think I will socially engineer it so they end up sitting next to each other, like, at literally every single meal.
There'd be place cards. Do you want to roll a sleight of hand to, like, switch around, like, the place cards?
Can I just convince the servants that they have them laid out wrong and get them to switch them?
You could do that too.
Okay, I would prefer to do that.
Please roll me a persuasion check.
Okay, I cannot roll lower than an 18.
That is not at all concerning for a level 3 character. You want to roll anyway for the shits and gigs?
Yeah, I'll roll to see if I do better than that. Sorry, my sheet's like having a... I don't have my sheet open, so I just need to load for a second. Okay.
So that gets bumped up to an 18, I assume, then?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fair. Well, the 7 begins to, like, just shake in a really panicked way. And you can see that they rush over right away to the table to begin, like, reorganizing everything, and they're, like, double-checking with you, like, is this right? Is this right?
Yes, okay, yeah, Dionysus and Fortuna should always be next to each other. I don't know who didn't tell you this. It's okay, just take a deep breath.
Just don't tell the madam.
No, I would never. Very long now, you're depressing me.
Yeah, so she reorganizes things, so you're sitting next to Fortuna. Fortuna is sitting next to Dionysus. Dionysus will be sitting next to Zell. And the other party members making, like, a little circle around the table.
I think to make conversation easy, I have the other party members, like, facing us. So we're, like, kind of, like, almost... It's, like, almost we're occupying, like, a six to 8 person, like, table, kind of in, like, the center section of the table or wherever Fortuna would be seated.
Okay. Anyone else? Brook, I believe you wanted to go to engineering.
Oh god, yeah, no, that's where he spends all of his time.
There's literally, like, some barracks set aside in one corner of the engineering for the engineers to sleep if, like, you really wanted to commit to the bit.
You're damn right I want to commit to the bit.
It is, like... It's not just an engine, in this engineering room. There's also, like, a water recycling, system as well, which is something you've only seen a couple of times. And that takes up about a third of the deck as a whole. The actual engine takes up another third, and then the rest is divided into the barracks or just walkable space / storage.
He'll spend a mixture between actually helping the crew and trying to put more thought into this blight stuff. Now that he's not being hassled about literally he's not having to socialize with the rest of the party, he can think.
Cool. Do you want to roll another Arcana check to progress your research? Try.
Damn right I will.
Damn right. Now you're back in your natural element. It's a lot easier for you to be able to focus. And you realise, this can't be an infection. The only thing that can hurt magic is magic. Someone has engineered a curse of some form. But normally, you'd immediately go to, a cleric would immediately go to the spell remove curse. At the very worst, greater restoration, bada bing. But this is a curse that feeds on magic. So how do you dispel a magically made curse? Perhaps you'd think to track down whoever is concentrating on it?
That isn't where the first place my mind went, but yeah, no, that makes more sense.
What about Umbra and Zell? Do you get up to anything?
I think Zell would probably just try to make friends with the crew, as Zell does.
Naturally. Most of them are either working the sails up top, or they're in engineering or in the kitchen. So it's up to you, which area of the crew you'd want to focus on.
I'd probably go for engineering.
Cool. So you'd probably, you definitely would have run into Brook at some point down there, but maybe the pair of you kind of switch over a little bit. You come downstairs just as he's going to go do some study. A lot of these people are very salt of the earth. So are you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, Zell pretty much expects Brook to be down in engineering, so yeah. Nothing unusual.
You don't know everyone that well right now, but you do know that about Brook.
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
Okay, so while he's kind of out of the way doing his research, there's the staff in this ship are primarily human, with a couple of dwarves and gnomes in between. A lot of them give you an odd look. They've seen what appears to be just a regular man in a suit of armor, like Brook is. But none of them have, you think, seen a satyr before. They're kind of some of them are glancing up and down over you. In particular, you get the sense that they're examining you to see why you're here. And one gentleman in particular, who has a bit more of a managerial air about him, will step up, just crossing his massive hairy arms in front of you. He'll look up at you. He is a dwarf. Just ask, "You lost?"
So it's very difficult to get lost on a confined ship like this. No, I was just learning my way around, getting to know who I'm aboard with.
Well, this here's the heart of the ship. Over there's the exit. Unless there's
I see
anything you can do for us.
Says, I see you're busy. I can't say I know much about what's going on around here. If you need a little bit of a hand with some basic labor, I can pitch in if you like.
He rubs his like big bearded chin. Well, we always need people bringing them clean water barrels upstairs.
Says, I can give a hand with that. Says, Zell says, point me to whoever else is on it, and I'll assist them.
Very well. And he just points out like one of his staff members who you can see is like is standing next to a barrel. His co-worker has got like the lid ready, and they're just like waiting for the last drops to fill up the keg.
I say, yeah, thanks. And I wander over to the people with the barrel.
They both give you an equally suspicious look. There's a tinge of amusement or bemusement about them as well.
Says,
Oh, you're
the boss.
here to help, are you?
He says, yeah, might as well. Nothing better to do.
Very well. Jemmy, go take 5. One says to the other. The one apparently called Jammy just walks away, begins whistling to himself. The one that remains puts the lid on the barrel, kind of like tips it so it's just balancing on one corner of its bottom, and then looks at you expectantly.
I go to help. I go to lift the barrel.
Great. Please roll me an athletics check.
Athletics. Okie dokie. A for athletics. 1.
So, in your desire to help, you're a little overzealous with your, like, you know, you don't approach it with quite as much care as you thought. You lift this, it's a wooden barrel, you lift it up by like the end that's still on the floor with a bit too much further, and it, you know, you manage to lift it about 2 feet in the air, but then the weight of it really hits your muscles, and it's too much for you to bear. It slips out of your hands. The barrel hits back onto the deck, and a couple of the planks in the bottom have been fractured, and the water is quickly leaking out of the barrel from the bottom. Your companion just yells out in anger and annoyance, Tip it quick before we lose more! Help me!"
Zell goes to tip it.
Cool. That will be a second athletics check, please.
19.
Nice. A lot better this time, especially with his help. You're both able to kind of roll it up at the top, so the hole was at the bottom, now at the top, and you only lose about 2 litres of water. Your companion just looks at you and says, "Over there is a mop." he just points to a corner of the room.
Yeah, it says, Zel goes and gets the mop. And quietly starts mopping up the water.
The first gentleman you talk to, the dwarf, some kind of foreman, it seems, comes over and just said, "You know, why don't you just do the whole floor while you're at it?"
Zel just nods.
You see it's quite needing it. It's very, it's quite dusty. There's a lot of grime. There's like tiny shards of Lucirium, like kind of Lucirium dust that's just collected up against the walls of the engine compartments. No one seems to have cleaned the barracks in a little while. Does Brook do anything when he hears this like commotion outside?
He'll probably come and help clean up, because he knows how to handle Lucirium probably better than anyone else.
Cool. So you'd probably like sweep it up rather than mop. You know it has, even as like an discardable dust form, it has applications.
Mm-hmm. You can say problems. He knows that it's got problems.
Your words.
As Zel's working away, Zel tries to do the best job he can with cleaning up. Whilst doing though, he sort of casually asks Brook, says, "So, haven't quite figured out how you managed to join us on whatever all this is." Zel looks around.
What, the ship I walked on? Same as you.
Says, yes, but like, how did you get involved to the prince? Did you just end up wandering into his office and then came on with us?
Oh, sorry. Took me a second. Mind in other places. No. My cousin was meant to do this, and she was busy. So I kind of volunteered, said I'd do it.
Oh. Is your cousin also an engineer?
Oh, yeah. Pretty good one.
Many engineers in your family, then?
The entirety of my father's side, yeah.
Ooh. Interesting.
Why am I scared at how you said that?
Don't worry, I'm just thinking to myself. Zel gets back to mopping the floor.
I will remain scared for the entire evening.
Cool.
Just like consciously adopting the frightened condition, not approaching.
As a bonus section, I'd like to willingly be frightened.
You can do that. Crying is, as always, a free action.
You think this man can cry?
I'm not sure what this man is.
I'm not sure either.
Oh, okay, so between the pair of you, you're able to really whip the engineering room into good shape. Unless there's anything else, we'll see what Umbra's up to.
I got nothing.
Cool. What's Umbra up to?
I guess if anything, Umbra would just kind of be like sitting out on the deck, keeping an eye on the crew, as well as what's going on around to ensure, nothing goes wrong. Nobody seems to be a mole for the enemy.
Okay.
So, we get the jump on them whenever we reach good old Rolane.
Fair enough. That will be a perception check, please, and thank you.
Let me open up my sheet, that might help.
Generally.
Perception. 17.
So you're able to take a good, back seat. Just kind of like sit in like one area where you're able to observe the whole deck. At first, the only thing out of the ordinary that you see is Dionysus and Fortuna are like whispering between themselves over sheets of paper. But the wind catches a few of their words, and you're able to discern that they seem to be talking about just planning how to approach this blight. You're not overly familiar with how to operate like big fancy airships. You've not been on many of them before. So at first, everyone in the crew kind of looks suspicious. You're not quite sure what any of them are doing. As you watch more and more of them, you're able to discern that all of them seem to know what they're doing. And as far as your inexpert eyes can tell, they're all doing it right.
Alright, then Umbra just kind of sits there and continues watching.
Cool. So we can like play out dinner and the night, etc., or we can fast forward to landing if you prefer.
I mean, I don't have anything specific.
Yeah, I'm good with
Yeah, I think Brock will bring up just outright the fact he doesn't think it's like a blight or anything. He thinks it's magic, and someone has created it.
So kind of communicate that over dinner.
Oh, he does it in the most abrupt way, like just mid-soup. Yo, this is a man-made blight. Continues soup.
I'm in the middle of my soup.
Fortuna has to like stop herself from like doing a spit take with her soup. She ends up just choking a little bit anyway. It's more just like the abruptness of the delivery. But they take it under advisement. And yeah, unless there's any particular objections, we'll just head into Relane. Not many, like, you've heard about sky pirates, but not many of them would take on a ship of this magnitude. I mean, you saw exactly what sky pirates were capable of. They could barely try against the Kurtz. So evening passes. If anyone's used resources, they gain the benefits of a long rest. You enjoy some light breakfast. Fortuna and Dionysus seem to be quite deep in discussion on how to approach this blight. And eventually they will dock at one of the... well, actually not in one of the... in the only tower in Relane. I should probably turn off that grid, because it's not that useful anymore. Ba-dum-bum. And the ship leaves, leaving you all in the city of Relane.
Oof, numbers.
What do the numbers mean, Mason? With the guide that Davina was able to have a look at, you're somewhat familiar with a couple of key aspects of the city that you're able to gauge as you approach it.
Ooh.
Ah, fucked up.
Nail salon? Clothing shop? Gosh, I know my sister's missing, but I want to go shopping so bad. Okay,
You are aware that Thescron as a whole is one of their main exports is textiles. So having like clothing shops and stuff is not that out of the ordinary especially for a small city.
She just loves shopping. Okay, priorities. So we know where a couple of inns and taverns are. Based on Hayden's journal, which I have with me, and I think we also had like some sort of itinerary or something like that, like something written on a scrap of paper. Do we have any information on where they would be staying in Lane, or no?
You don't have that information, no.
I didn't think so.
You're not even entirely certain that the haven you're looking for is in Rolaine.
Just that they traveled here.
Yeah.
To get to it. Okay.
Alright, well. Umbra will kind of take a look around a bit. Well. Probably best to check the upper class tavern. It seems like that's a place your family would stay. However, I would not be surprised if the Iron Flagon is also used.
Do we know how corrupt the mayor here is? They could be at town hall.
Also another potential.
Oh, also feel free to use my coloured in tone
Yeah.
if you like.
That's a
If
good
you've
point. I
made
haven't. No, I haven't updated it since.
But no need to do it now. I'm just bringing it up.
It's cool. It'll take me like 30 seconds.
Within like the airship dock or anything, Umbra is just gonna take like a cursory look around to see if there's any like noticeable signals, like in Thieves' Cant or anything, that like the core has directions of like where to go, or there's like a welcome for like the Watcher and like party that may still be around or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. That will be a perception check.
Another perception. 16.
You do recognize one symbol that's like, it's not in the tower in particular. You get the elevator down to the bottom, walk past the snoozing receptionist, and step out into the downtide ward. Look around. It appears to be like a bit of a like outer city like mini slum area, and literally there's like a signpost saying like this many miles to Talma, this many miles to Antilion, this many miles to Ripmere. And just on the base of it is a symbol. There's actually a little guide that people have come up with for interesting symbols. And you see one that's like a dot with a downwards semicircle, which you know means guild protected.
Umbra makes sure that his hood is up, obscuring his mask. He's gonna look towards the others. Well, where should we head to first, then?
Well, we're looking for someplace called a haven. And maybe my mother and sister stopped in at the fancy inn, but if there's a place here that's kind of, you know, more suited to your type, Umbra, maybe we should drop by there as well and ask around.
The
It takes a second, but Umbra will then kind of look at Davina. Do you have anything to cover your hair or anything like that? You're walking around like a sore thumb.
My hair is my best feature, how dare you?
If you want the element of surprise, then
Okay.
best.
Okay, like a 50s movie star, I will take like a silk scarf and wrap my hair up in it.
Awesome.
It does not make me any less noticeable.
It's something you've practiced a fair amount with. It's just like a towel out of the bath.
Well, at least people will need to double check to ensure it's you and it's not as obvious. If they get a notice that we're here, there's a chance that this game of cat and mouse will flip.
I guess since I'm trying to go incognito, if I notice anybody looking at me for too long, I'm gonna minor illusion the sound of somebody like going psst behind them to make them turn away.
Would that say that you're keeping an active eye out for people keeping an eye on you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yeah. If anybody's like, especially noticeably staring, and it's not just like pretty girl stares, it's like
Right.
you know, trying to read a little bit of the intent behind it if I can.
Okay, I'll ask for a perception check first then, and then you can, if you notice anyone doing that, we can assess.
My eyes are peeled.
Honestly, you think that everyone is just giving you pretty girl stares?
I'm just like doing the tuck my hair behind my ear. I'm like, oh, okay.
You can tuck a
guess
scarf behind your ear.
Yeah, I'm the it girl in Orlane, I guess.
Yeah. As for Umbra, he is going to keep an eye out for anybody who looks like they could be a lookout for the core.
Okay. What about Brook and Zell?
I'll let Zell go first.
They'll just ask everybody else. So, what's the plan?
Great question. We're gonna go to a seedy bar and a nice bar, and generally just ask around to see if anybody has seen my sister and mother.
Right.
And or knows where the Haven is, or the Watcher is, if we dare speak that name.
No, we do not.
I hope you guys
Hey!
are in a huddle
Speaking
because
of
you've
Haven.
just spoken that name.
Oh yeah, no, we're in a huddle.
Even speaking the name of the Haven could give us away. If anything, if you all just wish to head to a tavern and act as if you're regular travelers, I can do some of the footwork.
Give me time at the Commoner Tavern.
Alright, so
Like,
divide and conquer?
Yeah.
Alright, both of you? Don't do anything stupid. Both of you take bardic inspiration.
Yay!
Don't forget that you have it. You can mark your token if you want.
Everyone should be able to move their token around.
Yes.
Click.
Nope.
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 I can do mine.
I love a bardic.
How about now?
You know what? It's my bardic, so let's do red.
I'm thoroughly inspired. Is there like any checkpoint or anything to get in to the city? Or is it just kind of like an open gate?
It appears that you passed it.
Oh,
That was the receptionist /
was
customs
devastated.
officer.
okay. I thought that
Amazing.
was so like this over here, like where the wall is. There's no like guards manning the gate or
There's
anything.
there's guards like on top of the wall patrolling, but there aren't any at the gates checking like people's papers or anything.
With that, then Umbra is going to, I guess, slip away and blend in with the crowds. As he's gonna start searching for any. Given that he's never been here before, he doesn't know where the core operates out of. So he's going to kind of move about streets in like the ebb and flow of the crowd, looking for signs of where to go to find the core.
Fair. So you're gonna vibes it, essentially.
More or less, like he's just going to like move, as I said, like move with the crowd. Like he's not going to try and stand out. He's just going to keep like within the general ebb and flow of like the crowd and like kind of walk around the city, looking for signs.
Cool. So Umbra's doing that, and the other three of you, are you splitting up as well, or do you want to hit one place then the other?
I mean, I just don't think I don't belong at like a seedy tavern, so I'm just gonna go straight to the nice one. Like, I'm gonna stick like a sore thumb in there, and it's not gonna help.
It would be an unusually nice silk scarf to wear to that tavern.
I mean, like, and literally, the way I'm dressed, the way that I talk, it's like it's not gonna help.
Okay. Who does Brooke go with, or do something separate altogether?
Brooke's gonna do something separate altogether.
Oh boy!
Oh
A
boy!
four-way party split. The DM's
Hell
best
yeah.
dream.
Based on what Brooke knows, understands, remembers, researched, all the prefixes to this statement about sanguimancy, blood magic.
Actually, they're verbs.
Oh well. I'm gonna use detect magic with the intent of trying to find. I very much imagine like blood magic has a magical signature, like any other magic would, and it's not going to be standard. I'm almost picturing like it's based off someone's heartbeat. I don't know why, but that sounds cool to me. And he wants to go around all the non-taverns, like like the textile shops and things like that.
Right.
So everyone else is at the taverns, and just see whether he picks anything up via detect magic.
Cool. Detect magic lasts for how long again?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So you would be able to cover up to 2 places with one cast if you were very economical.
Yeah, I mean,
And the
it's a
places were
ritual
close.
spell as well, so it can be cast again.
Right. Awesome. Okay, so Davina goes to the North Arms, Zell goes to the Iron Flagon Tavern, Brooke goes to one of the several different non-pub areas, and Umbra just kind of like goes around, you know?
Yeah, he is vibing.
Cool. So I'll start from the top down. I'm gonna ask Umbra to roll a performance check to act like just another random member of the public in this town.
Well, I guess I'm probably going to fit. Bardic Inspiration's a D6?
Yeah.
Currently a D6, yes.
I
Okay.
think next level
I'm
is
gonna
D8.
expend
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What do you got to lose?
So I do get a 5.
Okay.
So bad, but hey, it's better than a 3.
You stick out like a kind of sore thumb. For sure, like you on the main street in particular, you end up like bumping into a few people while you're trying to like not not stick
like
out.
wearing regular clothes, and then there's just this one weirdo wearing like this all black getup with a hood.
Yeah, and you just like a couple of people end up just like bumping into you, and someone even shouts like, "Go back to where you came from, you rube!" After like having their foot like stepped on by you when you were trying to dodge someone else. And in a panic, you kind of dip out of the main street, go down like one of these side alleys into a slightly nicer end of town, it would seem. And it's there that you see another thieves' cant symbol. This one says, trust person inside. And Davina.
Yes.
You head to the North Arms coaching inn. Coaching inns are generally like, it's a tavern. It's somewhere you can drink and eat, somewhere you can rest, and also somewhere where you can store your horses for the evening. And it appears that the stables are only about a quarter full at the moment. You can see that they're quite open.
I mean, we don't have horses, so I wouldn't recognize anybody's horses, so I'm just gonna mosey on in.
You're met with quite like it's very familiar in terms of the decor around the place. It's very much the kind of thing you'd come to expect, like a spotted marble floor in places and like a nice wood in others. The bar itself has got like the nice like labeled alcohols behind it. There's like an actual like written menu instead of just something like scrawled on a chalkboard or whatever. And most importantly, which you are relieved to see, the bartender is wearing a shirt and tie.
Amazing. I walk right up to the bar, sit kind of off to one side. I'm gonna make the bartender come to me.
He approaches you. Good morning, madam.
Hello. Oh, good, you have a menu. Love menus.
Would you like to see our drinks menu, our brunch menu, our lunch menu, our specials menu, or our everything menu?
Yeah, I'll take the brunch menu. And just start me off with an Athington sunrise.
Very well. You're handed the brunch menu. It's very typical, like, higher-end brunch fare. Toast, egg, avocados, fruit bowls, etc.
I will do that rich person thing where they kind of order off menu, but it's stuff that's on the menu, so I'm going to order like an avocado toast with egg. It's like cheese.
Right. And he hands you, you can see he's mixing your drink, he's adding, an Athington delicacy called tequila. Along with some orange juice and grenadine. And he hands you back your Athington sunrise.
I take off my scarf and then kind of make a show of looking around. Say, I was supposed to meet my sister and my mother here. They look kind of gestures to self. I'm a few days late, but you seen them around?
I'm dreadfully sorry. I can't say I would know them by sight.
If I see him thinking hard about it, can I give him bardic inspiration to help him remember?
Yes, you can.
I would like to do that.
I think, isn't that your last use of it for the day?
I have 4.
Okay.
So it's based on my charisma modifier.
Oh! I'm sorry. With the dyeing industry here, it's quite popular for people to dye their hair all sorts of interesting colours, but I can see this is very natural, beautiful red. I did have a woman come in about 2 weeks ago with that same kind of hair. Mother? Sister?
I'm looking for both, believe it or not.
Well, she was, begging your pardon, I believe a little older than yourself.
That'd be my mother.
Carried herself. Ah, mother. You two look like you could be sisters.
I'll tell her you said that.
Yeah, she stayed with us for a few days. But then she was booked in for a few weeks, but left in quite a hurry.
Oh, really?
3 days
too
ago?
Bad. 9 days ago?
3 days ago.
3 days ago, okay. Okay. It's concerning, but I'm gonna keep my cool.
There is one thing that she left behind in her room. It was housekeeping didn't even realize it until the next day when they were turning over the room. And they found this in the safe inside the room. Oh, give me a second. I know it's here somewhere. And he kind of rummages around. He goes like behind the bar. Like behind the back of the bar, there's like a storeroom, and you can just hear like rummaging. No, oh god, definitely not. And he returns with a gold locket, the face of which is inlaid with mother of pearl.
I presume I recognize this as a piece of my mother's jewelry?
Yes.
Oh no, she left this behind? If you open it, you'll see a miniature of myself on one side.
I confess I haven't tried to get it open.
Here, I'll reach over and I'll open it, and it's me on one side and my sister on the other side.
It's what you're expecting, yes.
Yeah.
But that's not what you get.
Oh no.
Instead, what you see is a picture of yourself on one side, and then an empty space where your sister should be, and instead is just etched the phrase, "Don't forget, J.38."
Is there a space between J and 38?
Yeah, there's a dot. It looks like it's a date. Your mother is a little I mean, you know straight away without a roll. Your mother is a little eccentric. She doesn't use the numbers of months. She always insists on calling them by their names. So J, you know, would be Joppa, the 7th month in the 9-month long year. I'll just repost the calendar because I couldn't find it in the info when I looked.
Okay. So, is that date significant at all to me or my family?
Roll a history check.
I mean, immediately I would know if it's anybody's birthday, but...
It's not anyone's birthday, no.
No, not anybody's birthday, okay. Fuck.
You're really... I mean, you're already still digesting why Hayden's photo is missing. That you can't even really think straight about this date.
Yeah, it's got to be connected to Hayden because she took her photo out. It's on her side. But what date is it right now?
It is the month of Ariel, I believe.
Okay,
I think
so.
you actually have it in your notes.
I don't. I've been using the real life. I might have put it in day 1. Let's see. No, I didn't.
It is early in Aaron.
Okay.
Yeah, the 12th of Aaron. No, it would be the 14th of Aaron by now. So it's a good, like, 6 months away, nearly.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna have to follow that down later, but I will gently take the locket and I'm just gonna put it on next to my father's necklace. My father's ring that I have around my neck.
You kind of look like Flavor Flav right now. You're like kind of jingling as you walk.
I mean, it's not that bad yet because it's only 2 layers, but
No, but your mother's extra. She had a big locket.
I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm keeping it on me where I know it. I'm gonna notice if somebody tries to take this off me. I don't want to risk it getting pickpocketed. And you said she was alone, though.
Yes.
No girl younger than me with similar hair with her.
That is right. At this point, another waiter brings out your food and places it before you.
I'm way less hungry than I was before, but I'm still gonna eat it, obviously.
Would Madam care for any sauces, seasonings?
Ooh, do you have anything spicy enough to make a grown man cry? If so, I just want a little tumbler of it.
The waiter will kind of smile approvingly, disappears for a second, and then brings out like a small like ramekin of a thick red sauce that tingles your nose the second he takes the lid off.
Amazing. I'm going to take turns dipping my avocado toast into that, taking a bite, and then just washing it down with a little bit of my Atherton Sunrise.
And at the end of the meal, you will owe the place 2 gold pieces. And
which I have. Okay.
And we will move on to Zell and the Commoner's Tavern.
Okay.
So unfortunately, because it is morning on a weekday, it's quite abandoned. It's quite quiet right now. Because
this is what Zell was worried about.
Yeah, most of the people that would frequent this place are currently at work. In reality, there's only a couple of recovering night shift people here that are quite hammered right now. And the tireless staff cleaning up after them and trying to turn the place around for the evening rush.
Zell goes in and orders food and snack. No, not food and snack. Drink and snack.
That's good, because the most sophisticated menu item that they have is pork crackling.
Yes.
And the most sophisticated alcohol that they would have is bathtub gin with some kind of mixer. And you have a choice of 2 mixers. It's an orange juice that's so thick, it's almost more of a chewable drink, or just literally water.
Zell thinks to herself, sort of thinks aloud, chewable alcoholic lunch. So goes, is there any standard ales or something like that?
Yeah, there's like they've got a keg of like an ale and a keg of a cider just sitting behind.
Zell goes cider and the pork scratchings.
You're able to roughly enjoy your cider. You said cider, right?
Yeah.
Good. That's the better choice in my opinion. Just as out of game. And your pork scratchings. You just kind of find like, do you find like a quiet corner? Do you purposefully try and sit where there's most people?
I sit where I can see the most people.
Cool. So it'll kind of be like a quieter corner.
Yeah.
The cider's fine. It's definitely alcoholic. Not overly strong. There's not a massive amount of notes. It just tastes like an average cider.
Okay, Zell sits and takes a moment to take in, paying attention to who's in the tavern already.
So like running the show is an innkeeper. Most notably, he does not appear to be displaying his lawfully required guild license. You know, as most people would know, any business that operates that falls under the purview of one of the guilds must pay that guild to be able to operate and to own a license. And that license must be displayed in a prominent area of the business premises. So that strikes you as a little odd as you just look over this innkeeper. He's wearing a shirt that it's very baggy. It's got like a hole in the armpit. You think it was once white, but now kind of looks more like the color of tea. And also working appear to be like a couple of like there's a young couple, like a boy and a girl. They appear to be like his children, possibly. Definitely too young to be working around alcohol this much. Definitely should be in school, which is again another thing mandated by law. And the customers themselves, there are 5 of them of varying races. They all appear to be like, they're dressed like they're dock hands, like they've been working the night shift at the airship spire.
Is there any way that Zell can suss out which one would be the most open to conversation?
That would be an insight check.
Yep. Insight.
They all seem to be quite equally available to you. Like maybe you see that there's one that's had a couple more than his friends. And like in your experience, drunk people always want to make new friends.
Is there any difference in how animated they're acting, or are they all looking equally exhausted?
One of them is like animatedly telling a tale. The one that you think has had a few more is definitely like the least energetic of the bunch, but the other 3 are kind of like equal levels.
They all. Is it a group
Yeah, they're
is it a
like
group set together?
they're spread out over like one table. You assume that they've all come from the same place. They don't seem to be like 100% connected as a group. More like they were all on the same shift together and just all was like pub. Some of them appear to be closer friends than others.
Um. Uh. Can I hear anything about what the tale is from where I am?
Yeah, it appears to be this tale of them, like this guy was unloading a ship a couple of nights ago, maybe like a week or two ago. And he's quite drunk, and it's very late at night for him. So it's not the most, he's also not the best storyteller, so it's not the most legible tale. But essentially someone seemed to have like broken a barrel, or maybe he accidentally, quote unquote, opened a chest while he was manhandling it. And inside he found like a large amount of like blank black clothing. And he is trying to play this joke for laughs because he seems convinced that this was some kind of BDSM thing.
Zell wanders over and finding the least occupied part of the table, asks if he may join them.
It's basically the least occupied bit is next to the most drunk individual, and he just kind of goes, eh. Which you take as a yes.
Says, I say, thanks. Sit down.
You're able to get a bit more of like the front of the tale, and you're able to ascertain that this was indeed about 2 weeks ago. But the group kind of, the ones that are more lucid, they stop to like look at you and just be like, morning, stranger.
Say morning. It says, I hope you don't mind, but I overheard your tale, and it reminds me of something that happened, that I saw to me the other day.
Oh, what happened to you?
Says, so basically, I recount the tale as myself, the barrel incident, but I dramatize it and make it not about me.
It will be a very low DC, but I'd like you to roll a deception check there.
Deception.
Or possibly, actually, performance might do if you're better at that.
Yeah, performance. 24.
It's a riveting tale. These guys are like so interested in you, and they're kind of surprised that this has happened more than once. I assume that you like talk it up to like it wasn't water, it was like premium, like golden ale or vodka or something like that, and your careless apprentice just dropped it, and half of it went all over the place, and you got him to like mop it up with its tongue. Something along those lines. And they are like, they're really seeing you as one of their own right now. It's very clear. Like they're not quite sure why you're here like in the morning when you clearly look a bit more well rested than them. But overall, they heavily appreciate the tale.
Yes. Does this does my tale encourage any more talk out of them, or are they in awe at my tale?
Like the three that the four that were like more awake, including the one who was telling the tale, seemed to be like really enraptured. But then the one that was really super drunk just kind of pokes his head up and goes, there's nothing. I remember in that same flight I was mopping the floors late at night, and I was mopping up something, and it weren't water, and it weren't piss. It was all red and weird, and then it came off of my mop. It got all sucked out. And it went under this fucking door.
So, door? Which door?
It's one of the passage doors. I'm not allowed to go in them ever since I got accused of misappropriating a coin purse that was found on me.
I said, typical. They always assume it's the one holding it, not...
Yeah. I'm a cleaner, that's what I do. I just picked it up to return it to its rightful owner.
He says, I feel like you deserve me to buy you a drink. But says, I don't. Says, but that's up to you. I don't particularly want you to feel overly uncomfortable tomorrow.
I actually have the day off tomorrow.
Says,
so I'll drink to that, and he holds up his like almost full flagon.
Yeah, I look round the table. It says, "Can I get you chaps anything?"
The four of them like don't confer with one another at all. They just immediately push their flagons toward you, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, another one."
Yeah, I go up and purchase the lot around.
Cool. I realised I didn't say before, so including what the cider and the pork scratchings you already ordered, that and 5 extra drinks, I assume beers, a mixture of beers and ciders, will run you as a whole 7 copper pieces.
Okay. Let me do the math on that.
So that is
I don't know how to do the math in this.
1 silver is 10 copper. So if you hand over a silver, you'll get 3 copper change. If you hand over a gold, you'll get a very annoyed look, 3 copper and 9 silver change. I don't use like anything other than gold, silver, and copper personally, unless it's like very, very late game. Then I throw in electrum or platinum. I forget, one of the two.
Okay. I only have gold pieces.
Platinum. Yeah, that's what I use. Okay. So you'll get a very annoyed look. You'll get 9 silver pieces back and 3 copper.
I'm gonna say I'll just keep the copper.
Okay, you just get the 9 silver back. He also he bites the gold to make sure it's real.
Yeah.
You go back to the table, share your the round with your new friends. Any more information you want to try to dig out of them?
saying, I sort of casually mention, oh yeah, have you heard anything about this, strange looking fellow asking about a red-haired noble family that came through here recently?
You mean the one that was on a shipment?
It says, yeah, they would have arrived by ship.
I don't think he would have been asking for him. He was right there with him.
Zell says, huh?
One of the other drinkers just kind of like pats his drunken friend on the shoulder. He said, I don't think that he would be looking for them. He arrived with them.
He says, huh, they arrived recently then?
2 weeks ago, I think it was. That was when I saw all that kinky shit.
Huh. That's odd, because I had someone ask me today about it.
Really?
Says, strange, tall-looking chap. Wears a gas mask.
Can't say I've heard. Any of you? No, we've not heard of anyone like that.
Huh. Well, any idea why anyone would be asking about them? Have they been seen recently?
Nobles do what nobles do.
Huh.
Who knows what they get up to? We lift things, we get paid, we drink, we sleep, we lift things. Complicated slots lives, it's not our bother.
And it says, yeah, they're probably off in some retreat somewhere with the weird fetish gear you said you found.
I guess. Unless there's anything else that you want to ask them, I assume that you want to probably like finish up your drink and then get up and leave.
It's like, I finish up my drink and say, well, it's been lovely, but it says, I think it's about time I head off to my appointment.
Right, they all give you like a salute with their flagons that are in various levels of empty.
I salute back.
You get up, and just as you're about to leave, a mop head seems to just like jut its way out from under a table. Please roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. Where do I do this?
Oh yeah, you do all this. See, it's just above your skills. There's a small box
I got it.
saying, yeah. So you could literally end up tumbling out of the door. Like you trip over the mop head, lose your footing, kind of do a roly-poly out of the door, and then waiting for you appears to be like the young son of the owner. He almost seems to loom above you as you're just like lying prone on your back. He gives you this like big, dangerous grin, and he says, "You looking for an Avon, are you?" And with that, we will go to our suspicious fellow in the gas mask.
I got nothing against that.
He is sniffing about, detecting his magic in the textile district as a whole to begin with, I assume?
Yeah, that seems appropriate. Why not?
You only get, like, the very basic, like, there's, it seems like some of the items have been enchanted. But it's like the moving parts of machines seem to have been enchanted. That is something you know is standard practice to just make sure that they work for longer. And there doesn't appear to be anything particularly suspicious in the square as a whole.
Okay. He just moves on. This is part tourism, part maybe I should be looking for this thing.
Okay. Where'd you go next? The chameleon fabrics, the medical center.
Wonderful, wonderful question. That left. Wherever that is.
The medical center.
Sure.
So you're not able to... If you walk into the front, you see that there is like a couple of receptionists that are like triaging people as they come in and sending them on their various ways. So if you want to be able to explore this place a bit more thoroughly, you'll need to lie, or you can always try and sneak in a back way.
See, those both involve things that Brook was not raised to do. Thus he doesn't, so he
Fair
leaves.
Enough. Detect magic is still up, and like as you leave, you just walking past the corner of this place, you just get this pulsating twinge of this like reddish purple aura. You can't like quite see it. It appears to be coming from like somewhere around the back, maybe like the basement of this place.
Okay. Well, I mean, he knows where that is, but he's not going to go doing things that he wasn't raised to do. I guess he's just going to carry on walking around, just in case anything stands out. Now that he's out of the earshot of the person who it might concern, when starting to consider things like this, can Brook, in theory, come up with an alchemical agent to not kill someone, God no, but to incapacitate someone's blood, basically, as a way to knock out someone who does blood magic?
Not in the middle of the street.
Oh, not in the middle of the street, God no, but he's thinking about it.
It's something that you could theoretically try and jigger together.
I guess he'll just have a think about what he would consider to do that. Or what would be needed to do that, rather.
Well, the most obvious answer that comes to your mind would be an infusion of bloodbane.
Of what, sorry?
Bloodbane.
That plant.
Yeah, it's something that slows and cools one's blood. It can also lead to some hallucinations in kind of rare cases. It's generally scentless and tasteless when mixed in with like wine.
Okay. Well, I mean, in that case, then he will go back into the medical clinic because I forgot that I had healing spells. And he will basically just offer to like use up his spell slots to heal people.
They are like it's like I'm sorry to bring you back into the trenches, but it's like any ER center in an NHS building.
Oh, I'm well aware.
They are incredibly overworked, incredibly understaffed, and stretched so thin they're like a Hobbit book over 3 films. They are more than happy. What was that?
Yeah.
I said I love you.
They are more than happy. Like, no credentials needed.
Oh, this is Brook. He shows them his engineering ID so they know who he is. They have a picture of him.
They will, like, barely look at it. They will just, like, start pushing you towards, like, the ER.
God.
And all you smell as you walk in is just like the stink of sentience and their various fluids. Like, all you can hear is a mixture of screaming, crying, coughing, and arguing.
Oh dear, sentience. Yeah, sure. He helps. He spends his spell slots. Like, I guess he would at some point have to go into like a supply room to get bandages and things like that.
Oh, for sure.
If that connects to the basement, we'll pop another detect magic, because fuck it.
Yeah, there's like, it seems that like every room has been appropriated for patient storage whenever possible. So like the storage room is literally just a mostly disused corridor that leads to the basement. There's like cardboard boxes literally like blocking your path for half the time. Do you just kind of like, do you pop a spell slot, or do you just like sit on the to the stairs of the basement for 10 minutes? Going
I imagine he's allowed to take a bit of a break.
Oh no, sorry.
By
tradition, our magic ritual casting is magic, magic, magic. Hoi!
I'm afraid I'm not turtle enough for that. Yeah, considering he's not being paid for this, he'll take a 10-minute break when he needs to.
Cool.
Cast it then, grab more stuff, have a look, head back.
Alright, Brook is going on Smyko. We'll follow up with the basements. Well, we'll first go back to Umbra after the break. We'll take 15, so everyone grab yourself some coffee or whatever else you want.
Hell yeah.
Coffeeing!
Coffee! So, Umbra, you feel at first like you've really failed in your task of slipping in with the locals, and you get just kind of like shuffled into this alleyway, but you see this thieves' cant sign saying that the person inside can be trusted, just etched over the door of one house.
Is there any like windows that I could peer into to see if I could see who's within?
Yes, there is. It's on like a bit of a rise, so like you'd have to stand on like tippy toes to be able to like peek in through the window. But there is a window next to the door. There's a rather rich smell coming out of the place.
Yeah, we'll peek in stealthily. Don't want to get caught doing so.
Inside, you see a sweet old lady skewering tongues onto a skewer.
I heard you right. You said tongues. as
Yes.
in-
The
Yeah.
things we're using to talk with.
It's like arts and crafts, but with human body parts.
No one said they were human.
Oh, okay.
Interesting enough. Anything else, or?
No, it appears that she's in the process of cooking a meal. There's like vegetables waiting to be chopped with like a knife and cutting board just on like the middle section of the table, and she's just like quietly humming to herself.
Umbra is, from experience, does he know these people, like, he can just, like, walk in should he knock? Is it, like, go through the back door type thing?
You've never been to Thresgon, so you wouldn't know if there were any particular social customs, unless you want to think hard and give me a history check.
Yeah, 22.
But you know, the organization to which you belong prides itself on having rigid rules that anyone can follow, regardless of where in the Empire they are. So you know that this is a series. This is one of those times when you would just give the secret knock, which is da 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 da.
Yeah, in that case, Umbra will proceed to do the secret knock.
Oh, coming. About 30 seconds later, the door opens. Oh, hello. My, what a big mask you have.
Indeed. I've come looking for an associate of mine. I bear a message for his ears only.
Oh my, what big questions you have. Come in, come in.
Umbra will enter, kind of giving a slight bow, as, you know, is invited in, and enters.
I would offer you some barbacoa, but I'm afraid it will not be ready for several more hours. The secret is slow roasting beef tongue.
I'm sure it'll be a lovely meal.
I do have cookies.
I'm good. I'm just wondering, I noticed...
She's already putting the cookies on the table.
Well, in that case, Umbra will not be rude and just flatly refuse them. He'll remove the bottom portion of his mask and take one.
She's already going to make some tea for the pair of you as well.
Well, now he's stuck here. and wait for this kind old lady to do her thing.
She's kind of like
waiting.
pottering around, but she's asking like, what do they call you? They call me Abuelita.
I am Umbra.
Umbra. Like the thing that you use to keep the rain off of you?
Similar, the first little bit. It's an old word for shadow.
Oh. How very clever. Oh, Umbra, what can I do for you? She pops the tea down in front of you.
He'll take it and take a sip. I come bearing a message. I was sent. Let me get the map so I can. I've come from Austere. I was told that one of our associates has come up here. I'm looking for them. They have failed to check in, and I have a message for,
Who is that?
I'm looking for two people. One is the Hider. No, not Hider. I'm looking for the Watcher and for Harper.
Ooh. And your authorization?
I bear a message. What was the person that I've been in contact with?
The Hider.
Hider.
Yeah.
Yes. I come with a message from the Hider, from where they came from as well.
interesting, interesting. Well, I can put you in touch with someone to put you in touch with someone to put you in touch with, the Watcher. I've never heard of this Harper. They must be new.
Indeed, it seems that the hider, it may have been somebody that they brought in. I'm unsure the exact politics of everything, of course. I just have a message to deliver.
Go to the medical center. My grandson lives there. His name is Dagger. He works in the basement.
He'll be able to point me in the right direction.
Yes, do you know how to get to the square? The main square with the gardens. Very pretty garden. It's got dandelions and philodendrons and dahlias.
And she trails off just naming like lots of different types of plants, and even goes on to like a couple of birds and insects.
I should be able to retrace my steps from here back to the main road and get there.
Take the southmost road, the one that points to Orisia and Antilion. You cannot miss the medical center. It's a very big building, just off the square.
Very well. Thank you for the refreshments as well as the info. And Umbra is going to... He's gonna try and leave as he's like setting down his teacup.
Wait just 1 minute. If you were heading to go and see my grandson, please give him this.
And she picks out a very particular cookie and puts it in a little paper bag.
As she's doing this, Umbra is going to hide a gold coin underneath the teacup he had.
A sleight of hand, please. She has glaucoma, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And it is not.
He'll take the paper bag and give a nod. I'll be sure to give this to Dagger and send your regards and let him know that you would like him to come visit. I think that would be nice, would it not?
Oh, he doesn't want me going there. All of the disease. But he's a nice boy. He always comes by on Sunday evenings.
I'll let him know that you are thinking of him and that you can't wait for Sunday.
Goodbye now. Lovely meeting you, Umbra.
And to you as well. And with that, Umbra will take his leave. And he will retrace steps and everything.
Cool. And he'll find his way over to the town square. And at this point, we'll flip over to Davina. What has she been up to? She's gotten her little locket. She's had her lunch. She's paid 2 gold pieces.
Yes, I have. Living that expensive lifestyle. We didn't really agree on a place to meet, did we?
No.
I guess I'd be loitering outside probably.
You would probably then end up running into Umbra. Or more correctly, you would spot him as he was walking past.
I mean, given my perception, I think Umbra would see me before I see Umbra.
Probably true. Do you, acknowledge one another in any way?
Would just
Go ahead.
keep walking.
Is this one of those things where I shouldn't interrupt you, or... Is this one of the things where I shouldn't interrupt you, or did you finish talking to whoever you needed to talk to?
I have another. I'm heading to the medical center at the moment. If you wish to tag along, I don't see why not.
I mean, I don't know that I'll go inside, but it's better than loitering here waiting to get pickpocketed. And hastily putting my hair back in the scarf because it's 100% not in the scarf. Apparently my mother was staying here by herself. No sign of Hayden as of yet. You haven't heard anything, but she left 3 days ago in kind of a hurry, even though she is booked for longer.
There's a possibility that the Watcher is behind some of these weird circumstances.
I mean, I almost hope she went home, but if she just headed home, if she went by airship, she should have been there by now, and we would have run into her. Although if she's on the road, I guess there's a chance we missed her. She went by horse, but she hates riding. Okay, who are we going to meet? Who are you going to meet, I guess I should say?
Just another individual who happens to be in the same line of information work as I am.
And they work in the medical center? Alright.
We work all over.
I suppose you can't all just huddle in back alleys. That wouldn't make sense.
Besides, it needs an operation in the criminal underworld needs all sorts. People on the insides, people on the outsides, people like me who work as sort of in between.
And people in the kitchen, like Abuelita.
I mean, honestly, logically, Abuelita, that makes a ton of sense because, not only do people just need to eat, but also you could poison someone super easy. And no one would ever suspect you.
Yeah, you could slip poison into something as easy as a cookie.
Tee.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I was when you just sat down and had tea, I was like, is this gonna go bad? Alright. I'll tag along, but I think I'm gonna hang out outside when we get to the medical center itself. And let Umbra run the show.
Okay. Cool, so the pair of you head down, and then, Zell. You were kind of very rudely, accosted by a child. You are lying on your back in the middle of a street, the child looming over you, sneering down at you, asking you why you're looking for Avon.
I respond, I believe the exact word I used was retreat.
The child looks a bit panicky for a second, like, oh fuck, I've done an oopsie.
Says, why are you so interested in whatever? Zell looks himself over and starts to pick himself up. Says, whatever it is you said.
Oh, it's just, retreat is a coward's thing to do. And cowards aren't very useful in a place like this, at a time like this, in a city like this. Know what I mean?
Says, Zell sort of chuckles to himself and says, well, retreat could be referred to as an airship, and retreating is definitely something the nobles would enjoy, says. Zell looks straight at the kid, saying, I take it you're not a fan of the upper classes.
Not it's any of your business. But nah, not really.
Says, you're right, it isn't. But neither do I. Says, I noticed your father, I presume? Zell waits for a response and glances in the tavern.
Something like that.
Says, I noticed he wasn't exactly playing by the rules. Says, I'm surprised some wealthy bureaucrat hasn't come and shut this place down. Says, so as far as I'm concerned, I like this place.
If I feel like there's a threat here. How obvious are you being with that? If I'm correct. I'm bad at subtext.
There's no real threat. There's no real threat to it.
Okay.
I'm just making an observation and bringing it up, and I'm saying that I've noticed, and I don't intend to do anything about it.
Ah, fair enough. He'll nod at you in an approving kind of manner. Oh, one like that. You in the game?
Zell says, well, not here, no. I have certain affiliations back home, but I'm very much a stranger in these parts.
It's a simple yes or no. You're either in the game or you're not in the game.
I suppose I am then.
Brill. Alright. You probably want to go be talking to the face man. Seems like you're new in town, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of obvious. He seems to be feeling a little bit more confident in himself now, even though it is not really earned. But he's 8.
Well, I say, kiddo should be in school. I say, right, well, thanks for letting me know. One last question. When it gets busy here in the evenings, do you have anyone doing music, or perhaps I could chip in, help business somewhat?
Occasionally.
Ah.
It's more my dad you gotta ask.
Just thinking aloud. Says, anyway, where, could you point me in the direction of this, what was the name again? I forgot.
You weren't given it a name. All you heard was the face man.
Says, could you point me in the direction of, the faceman?
Yeah, he runs this little, patch you up, send you on your way job out of the vets.
Vets. I say, thanks, kid. Says, I say, I'll forgive you for tripping me. Says, it's good to keep your ears open. Says, You don't want any noble sympathizers down here.
Nah, not really.
I give the kid a pat on the shoulder, and make my way I guess towards. I would be moving towards the fancy place, maybe via somewhere I can clean myself up. But...
When you say the fancy place, do you remember the? Do you mean the tavern that Davina was at?
Yeah, because as previously mentioned, we didn't organise it.
That's very true. I would hope that y'all will learn for next time, but I know from experience you won't. But it's fine, because as you're kind of like, you're taking the main road, you're wandering back to the fancy place, you're trying to like brush off the dust over your clothing. You see Davina just hanging outside this medical center.
Just examining my manicure with my passive perception that sucks ass.
What is it?
I completely ignore her and wander in.
Well, I will imagine that like Davina hasn't been there for long, so you'll probably wander in like as Umbra is.
Okay.
So yeah, Umbra, you walk in slightly before Zell would have, so what would you do?
Well, Umbra would walk in, take a look around, and start finding his way to the basement.
Excuse me, sir? You can't just wander in. This is a medical center. How can we help?
Umbra will hold up the little package that he has. Just delivering something to someone in the basement.
What was the name?
She said Dagger was her grandson. I wrote it down.
Yeah, but that's probably the code name, not the actual name.
You could try.
Can Umbra infer anything from the name to try and make something coherent?
I mean, you know from your own name versus code name, they don't always match up that well, so it really would be a pot shots. But
Sarah Joseph, I believe is the name I was given. His grandmother just called him her little darling, said that he worked down there.
Oh, in the basement.
Yes.
she looks over to her colleague, who's currently like talking to a couple that appear to be in for maternity reasons quite urgently, so they're pretty occupied right now. She leans into you and goes,
Joseph, quite a sharp name, isn't it?
I assume at this point Zell would walk in.
Zell would wander in and sort of make sure that Umbra's noticed that he's there.
I'll try to assume he would, because I know Umbra's passive is pretty okay.
Yeah. I'd say yeah, because I have a 12 in my passive, so it's a
same as me.
Yeah, it's like it's higher than it's high enough that anyone just wandering in you kind of notice.
I sort of gesture to Umbra as I leaning closer. Is this a good time?
I'm making a delivery.
Right. Just to clarify, is this place that I was told to go?
So you were told to go to like a vet office, and you
A
only only know of like, but he also said that it operates out of the back of something. So like looking at this place, this is the closest to a vet you've seen so far. So I feel like Zell will go, maybe.
I just say, I just turn to the receptionist and say sort of aloud so that Umbra can hear. Well, you just speak normally. Well, Umbra would hear anyway. I would say, hi. I was wondering if you could point me towards a vet.
Oh yeah, like totally I can. Vet is like it's health code violation stuff. We had to do it. The vet is currently located in the basement.
I glance at Umbra. Says, says.
Ask for a guy called Billy.
Right. Thank you very much. I says, before I go, name's Faceman.
Face man.
Yes.
I think you're on the right track there already.
Okay, just
No need to have 2 prescriptions too early.
Yeah. No worries. I look at Umbra and sort of quietly say, I hope you don't mind if I tag along.
He just gives a nod and looks towards the receptionist and gives another nod. It appears we're both heading to the basement. What direction is that in?
Go to the end of the corridor, through the triage centre, just follow the sound of the screaming. All the way at the end there's like a little storage area. Just a little corridor, and the entrance is through there.
Umbra will nod and look at Zell. Well, shall we?
Yep. So are we both? What's going on?
We're both heading to the same place, so.
Okay. On the way, I'm sort of in a hushed tone say, got a tip from a kid that works at the dive tavern. Says, need to check in with someone called Faceman. Says seems to be against the ruling class in the area. Says also kid picked up that I used the word retreat, so not entirely sure what we're in the middle of here.
We're already caught in the spider's web. Now it's to draw it out.
Yeah. Well, says, I have a feeling this is very much your area of expertise. Zell glances behind him, saying, was never really this. Zell sort of stops mid-sentence, just like, Actually, never mind.
These are my people. The web of deceptions, lies, everything. You get used to it after a while. I forget how it can be that first.
Zell just follows along.
Cool. The pair of you will follow the directions and we'll come across, at the very end of the directions, we'll come across Brook sitting at the top of a flight of stairs, ritual casting. And here's your opportunity to set a new meme for the campaign, Josh. How would the ritual casting look? No pressure.
Oh yeah, thanks. No pressure whatsoever. He's got his mask off for like a minute of it, so like the last minute of it, and he just puts it back on as Umbra and Zell come into the room, and he just looks, and it's just glowing. The red, oh my god, the red eye holes of the mask are like slightly glowing. You know. I'll have to find it, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
And just stares at them. Hi.
Umbra will give a nod. Are you heading to the basement as well?
Yep. There's
What
a
info did
lot.
you find?
Pardon?
What info led you to the basement?
Oh well, like I used detect magic and I found nothing in the market. Then I used detect magic again, and then it was in the medical clinic, and I was like, oh, I'll do my daily bit of good. So you know, I've helped some people here, and then I came into the supply room for something, and he's holding just like bandages. Oh, it's bandages. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should cast detect magic again, and like, whoa, it's down there. By the way, detect magic. What's going on with that? Wait, how did you two end up here? Now that I think about it.
Umbra once again holds up the bag. Delivery.
So, you've decided to retire from crime and become a food delivery person. Good on you, man.
Oh, no, this is simply part of the way we operate.
You operate with cookies?
Indeed.
This is crime food delivery.
I'm
Exactly.
conflicted.
I broke at least 6 laws to get here.
That's
You broke
not something
maybe
you should
one.
be proud of, my guy.
Yeah, but that's not something that Brooke knows.
Zell turns.
I'm just,
Umbra
you know,
says,
contextualizing.
"Mix."
Sorry, Zell.
Yeah,
I mean, it's difficult for him to have an animated face given gas mask. But there is a look of pure confusion. This man cannot comprehend crime.
I jaywalked at least 6 times on my way here.
My grandmother would kill you. I best not ever introduce you to my grandmother. She would absolutely destroy you. Anyway.
I don't know, it seems like grandmas love him.
Are you sure grandmas don't also just do crime?
Umbra, please leave me alone. It's bad enough I have to contend with this. Please. I'm happy being innocent. Anyway, basement.
Indeed. Lead the way, magically eyed friend.
What do I can full on plagiarize from Lord of the Rings? What do my elf eyes see? I think that's a line in that movie. I don't know.
It is
anymore.
indeed in the second film when Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn are chasing the Uruk-hai pack. Do not quote The Lord of the Rings to me, witch. I was there when it was first written. Sorry. What do your elf eyes see? Your elf eyes see a pulsating trail of very sanguinous magic leading downstairs. Or maybe leading from the downstairs. Ooh.
That's blood magic, alright. And they'll like just point it out, whether or not there's any like physical trace.
Perhaps we'll have another chance to figure out who these people worship.
I mean, I guess not really important, but sure, why not? He just walks down the stairs. This man has got no concern for his own safety.
I assume Zell and Umbra will follow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What has Davina been up to?
I mean, she's hanging out outside. Nobody has come in like after Cell. So, what's going on outside? Is there anything interesting going on today? Street fair?
So, like, first of all, I'll say that, like, Elliot is probably just hanging around with you.
Oh, that's
Because Demon ain't here, but Elliot is still existing. So I'll just, like, plonk him in the most neutral place possible. You're just, like, you're so used to the, like, it's kind of like Mardi Gras most of the time of year at Orisier.
It really is.
That like you're always kind of thinking like, why haven't I seen any parades or elephants come by recently? Just remembered
like,
actually it's kind of
shops aren't gonna pop up. It's like it's past noon though. It's getting there.
It's actually kind of funny. I've just IRL realized in about an hour there's actually going to be a parade outside my house.
You should. I mean, you have to. If you have to, in this initial alert, you have to go do that. Just so you know.
It's it's not a fun one. It's just like a bunch of people
no.
wear weird shirts and run around the village as a bank holiday thing.
That sounds so incredibly fun, though.
Apparently they're going to be pushing like chariots and stuff. So yeah, I might do a little head pokey atty. Yeah, it starts at 6. Yeah, sorry, it's just reminded me. I literally walked to the shop earlier today and saw all these like food trucks had just randomly appeared in my tiny village, and I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, in game. Yeah, it's just like, why is there nothing here? Like, there's not even like no one's trying to sell me like photographs or like postcards.
I feel like rolling, it's like rolling carts that like end up being like pop-up shops are like super, super common because it's like the real estate's so expensive.
Yeah.
Back home, and it's like not seeing that. It's just like, it's fucking weird. I mean, I'll put something in out of game role-playing in case Steven wants to, but I think I'll try to enlist Elliot's help in trying to figure out kind of the riddle of the inside of this locket.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of an off-screen thing that I will see if Demon is up for.
Yeah, feel free to post that in out of game roleplay and tag him, because otherwise he probably won't look it.
Yeah, I'll pop that in there, and if nothing comes of it, nothing comes of it. That's probably how I would spend that time, because
yeah, that's fine.
Having that like question lingering would probably be the biggest thing on her mind at the moment.
Cool. Yeah, so you can start to decipher that, and then the 3 amigos, we've got Mario, Luigi, and Wario all heading down into the basement.
All I'm saying is that I already have assigned each of them who's who.
And let me guess, you're Luigi because you're the coolest.
No. Umbra is clearly Wario because it's the thing where it's the opposite of Mario, who is clearly Brook. So by order of elimination, that leaves Zell as Luigi.
Well, shit. Sorry,
Really?
Zell, you're honorary coolest, apparently.
Yay!
Just as a sideline, I love Luigi. I had a Luigi PFP for like 3 years solid. I only recently changed it. But yeah, anyway, get distracted again.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember, because when you were on Minecraft server.
Oh yeah. John was like, why aren't you using a Luigi skin? I do have a onesie in real life.
I also have a onesie. It is a flying squirrel onesie. Very important.
Oh yeah. So, the Super Mario Bros. Trudge down into the basements. And basements generally, especially ones that have illicit activities, there's a lot of skulking, a lot of darkness, but it's a very well lit place. Like it's like cheaply lit for sure, but it's lit with like blinking electrical lights. And there's like a long hallway at the bottom that just kind of wraps itself back around to the underneath the medical center. And just like in one area, it says, Dr. Quartz's veterinary practice.
Wait. This seems like a really odd place for a vet. Why is there a vet's down here? What?
Yeah, I'd expect the vets to be near the fancy place with the stables.
I would have expected it to be, I don't know, on the ground floor. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to get, like, I don't know, a horse, a sheep, or whatever down here. It's going to be a pain.
Well, to be fair, you can get a cow. You can lead a cow upstairs, but you can't lead it downstairs.
Anti-cow.
No, how do you know this?
You're questioning how I know things.
I'm sure he did a
This
master's on
specific
it.
information.
Look, okay, I had some mad years when I was in uni, don't worry about it. Look, we all do crazy things in our 70s.
There's just this, like, side-eye look from Umbra, even throughout the mask. It's like, what the fuck? 70s? You're like 20.
What? No. Dude, I don't remember when I was 20. How old do you think I am?
I don't know. You have, what, 3 degrees? If you got the first at 18, by being a gifted student and accelerated learning and whatnot, another one in, what, 5 years? We would put, like, I don't know, in your 30s?
Huh. Fair enough. And he just walks off. Like he's walking down the corridor. I'll tell you I'm not 30.
Well, shall we check out the veterinarian?
Sure.
Zell just wanders up and knocks on the door.
Come in.
Zell opens the door and waves to Umbra to follow in.
You will enter into the veterinary practice. And it's a very simple, singular room. There seems to be like no other exit or entrance out of the place. There's like a little nook that appears to be for observing. Although it's the table is large enough that it could fit even a Goliath. So it's a little bit of a mystery to you why there would be like such a large slanted table for somewhere that looks at cats and dogs, allegedly. But sitting behind the desk, literally just like cleaning out his fingernails, is a rather relaxed, half-drow looking guy that you estimate to be somewhere between 20 and 70 years old.
I say, hello there. I was told that I should need to see a vet by the name of Dr. Face.
He literally, like, you can immediately see without even an insight roll that he's choking back a laugh at that.
He goes, I go, yeah, right. So I'm new. I says I'm new in town. Apparently you're someone I need to know. Oh, and my friend has some sort of evil cookies he's delivering. I'm not sure what's going on with
that. Dr. Quartz will look up at all three of you. Just have his hand out. Not like to shake, to receive something.
Oh, you are the sharp individual I've been tasked to deliver these delicious cookies to.
Dagger, at your service.
He'll place the bag in hand.
Ah, I see you've met Apolita.
Indeed.
He takes the cookie out of the bag and then immediately snaps it in half. Inside is a small slip of paper. He looks at the piece of paper, looks at the three of you, and then eats the paper.
Did he eat the paper or the cookie?
He eats the paper first, cookie after.
Lovely. It seems that you made a good impression on her.
That is good. These two are just associates of mine. I believe they found their way here of their own accord and everything. We are searching, well, I suppose I am searching specifically for Harper and Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
I have a message from Hyder.
Do you? That is very interesting. And the other two? You are looking for the face man.
Yes, that's right.
The face is the one that watches.
Ah. Zell looks at Umbra and rolls his eyes.
Is it like a self-deprecating kind of thing, or?
Yeah.
And Dagger finally looks at Brook.
I'm sorry, swallowing that paper was not good for your health. Anyway,
What, are you, a doctor? Are you lost?
no, I'm with these two.
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to stay quiet.
Oh. The face man will see you.
Yep.
He stands up. He opens up one of these, like, one of his cabinets that's got like a lot of different medicines in it. You assume he's pressed something or cast something or whatever, because just beyond the examination, like the very large examination table in the alcove, a part of the wall just slides down, revealing a passageway beyond. Go in there, follow the corridor to the end, and you will find the Watcher. He looks at you all expectantly.
There's a nod, and Umbra will begin to walk forward.
Am I getting any sense of magic from, the door, from this individual? The tech magic would still be up.
You don't get a sense of magic from either him or the door, but you do feel that the path of sangomancy you've been following does lead down through the door.
Okay, this is going to be it might not even be possible, but if it is a quite difficult check, is it based on the blood that we found in Davina's house? Is there any sort of familiarity? Basically, is there a way to, like, is it Davina's sister? Is it, like, I know we had traces of like, I know her father's ring was there, but family relations, things of that nature.
Yeah, so, did you use detect magic on the blood back then? I didn't write it down.
It seems like something he would have done, but I can't remember either.
I believe that you did as part of like your overall Arcana check to like figure it out. I believe that was like running when you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it does make sense. It rings a bell. There's some form of familiarity there. It's not, you can't do like a 100% match, but you feel like you're on the right track.
Okay. Follow Umbra and wait until he's out of earshot of the individual and just lean down slightly. I think we're on the right track. There's something familiar about that. How best to describe it? Signature.
Indeed. You recall the request when we get here. And then he's just going to make a slight motion across his throat with his thumb.
Oh, right. I had the talk with Davina. I didn't have the talk with you. If you're gonna do anything like that, just tell me straight up. Like, there's no confusion that way.
Oh,
Although I understand that.
First, but
I understand that
with money.
I mean, wouldn't it be worth more to your friends? I'm going to call them friends because that seems like the nice thing to call them. Wouldn't
Associates.
Friends. Friendly associates. There you go. Best of both worlds. Would your friendly associates not prefer having him alive?
To get into the full details, Davina's sister works for the person I am currently working for. This person took her from where she is over here for some reason, and it seems that was the last straw, and the Watcher has outlived his usefulness. Davina's sister, on the other hand, is to be kept alive if possible.
Well, I mean, that one's kind of obvious, my guy. Okay. I'll be blunt. I'm not comfortable with just outright killing a guy because your friendly associate said that it needs to happen. Can we try and take him alive? But I do accept if he dies, he dies. You know. But I would appreciate an attempt.
So, I would like to know the full story behind this person. Maybe we could get a little info out before we do anything.
Oh yeah, don't act without information.
By this time, are all three of you like in the tunnel heading downwards?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
We're out of earshot of anybody.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely out of earshot because about 10 seconds after the last of you step over the threshold, the door will slide up again, leaving you in total darkness. And I think that's where we're going to end this session.
I know something really bad is about to happen, but there's literally no way for Davina to know that. So.
This is why you never split the party.
Listen, I was just hanging out outside. I thought someone was going to drop off a cookie and get information on where people were, and then they would come back out. That was how
You
I
were
got
looking for your
that
sister.
information.
Why did you stay outside?
I didn't know. I mean, no, there was no word of my sister being in here. Just potentially the Watcher, and I didn't even have all that information.
Fair.
Nah, we were